Hi all, this is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, the eastern part of Long Island, where it looks overcast and looks like it's going to rain. Our forecast says no rain, so we'll see who's right, Dr. J or the forecast. Meanwhile, let's see if I can get through this YouTube session without rain. Jiggly's here, Sean is here, Linda's here, Cabinet guy from the Green Mountain State. Is Dr. J going to talk to Trump? You know something? He can have his audience and I'll have my audience. I like Cabinet Guy and Linda and all the people that watch the show regularly. And Trump can have his little MAGA people, no problem. Clarence is here from upstate New York. And Lake Life. Hello, Mama Smale is here. Oh, Mama Smales. And a bunch of others who I didn't catch. Let me see if I can scroll up. Scrolling up. How did I block you? I didn't want to block you, Jiggly. What did I do? How do I unblock Jiggly? Oh, Jiggly. I did something bad. It's doggone Apple, I don't know what I did. How do I undo you? Did I get him back? I didn't get Jiggly back. I don't know how to get him back. Jiggly. Jigglypuff was blocked. I'm going to spend the whole time trying to get Jiggly back. This is annoying. I don't want Jiggly to think I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at you, Jiggly. I just did something. It's the Parkinson's. It just moves. My finger moves, and I don't want it to move. It's annoying. All right, anyway, today was a not so great day for me, although it was a great day for the averages. The S&P just about made a new high, tied the high. Tim is here. R. Brandon Rogers is here. He wants to know my thoughts on BCRX and CVM. CVM is very interesting. We're going to talk a lot about that because GET is going on to Reddit. That's an overhead claim. GET has been going on the Reddit bulletin board and saying some unbelievable things. Unbelievable things. I wish I can figure out how to unblock Jiggly. It's really bothering me. Oh, this is agonizing. All right, anyway, I can't work on it all day. Where is Professor Spike? That's another thing. Professor Spike is missing. So we have no Jiggly because Dr. J's fingers accidentally touched something wrong. And Magnificent Dancers here. Yeah, all right. Shalom, Magnificent Dancer. Magnificent Dancer was rubbing it into me why I got out of SRNE at 14. And he was right, it did run quite a bit more. Oh, Radley, hi all, looking forward to hearing about AEMD today. All right, there's nothing much to look forward to. Jake called me yesterday and said, time to sell AEMD? And I said, probably. I see it going to 135. But what do I know? And let's take a look at the charts because I can't wait around all day for Jiggly, I'm so upset. You got to accept my apology. You don't have to, but it's totally an accident. And I will figure out how to unblock you. I promise that. At least I'll try. Well, I bet you I could do it. There's 3 dots on the right-hand side. So let me see if that'll do it. Jigglypuff is blocked. But there's no three dots anymore. That's the problem. I successfully blocked them, but I can't seem to unblock them. Should we? Ah, Spike is here. You see, I'm fooling around getting Jiggly back, and Spike shows up. Oh, man. You back on? You on? Spike, you on? Not yet?
Hello?
You on now? Yeah, you're on.
I am on. There we go.
You are on.
Yes. Can you see me?
Sean is saying, hey to everyone.
See me and you can hear me, so we're good.
You know what happened? You know what happened? I accidentally blocked Jigglypuff, and I can't get him back. You know,
really?
The Parkinson's finger went like that, and
right.
that did it.
Right. No judgments.
One time, the Parkinson's finger bought 100,000 shares instead of 10,000 shares.
Hopefully, it was something that paid off.
Yeah, the extra movement. And I had enough money in my account with margin to cover 100,000 shares. I was very busy getting rid of that stock in the after hours.
That's
luckily,
funny.
Luckily, it was heavily traded.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't apologize enough to you, Jiggly. But we will figure it out how to unblock you eventually. You see, can you see, Spike? It says Jigglypuff was blocked, and I don't know what I did.
Let me see. Well, if he's blocked, then I can't see him.
You can't see the comment either?
No.
What are you going to do?
Well, sorry. Right. We'll have that fixed.
Yeah. So you heard about Gert? Did you read about Gert on Reddit?
Yeah, I was listening until I was actually. That's why I was a little bit late because I was reading all of that.
Yeah. What do you make of that nonsense? I think Gert is in AF equal and opposite.
Well, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That was at least where based on what I read.
I think he's telling the truth. He's genuinely enthusiastic and knows nothing.
Right. That's his story. He's sticking to it.
I believe it, because if he knew something, he would be in big trouble, big doo-doo with the SEC.
Right. Exactly.
So I got to believe it.
So he's like, nobody's more interested than me in finding these answers.
I do believe that.
Okay. I'll take him at his word.
I keep the odds at even money. There's no reason for me to change my mind.
No, I'm being hopeful, considering all the other hopes of mine that have been thrashed over the last
week. Man, I actually unloaded a little bit co-diagnostics today.
Oh, I didn't, but
a little, just a little.
So between Miso and Codex,
and ATHX,
and BCRX, it's just been
an AEMD.
AEMD also, yes, it's been a tough.
Well, that's why I said last week, why should we risk these COVID plays when we could buy 3M and buy Walmart and buy Tesla and buy Amazon? I mean, all of these blue chips have been hot as hell and carrying the market.
They've been doing okay for themselves.
Yeah, and thank God I have a lot in those kind of stocks.
Yeah, I mean, actually, what I just did? I on my retirement account, I took myself out of the REITs.
That's a good move.
Yeah, that's what I mean, they've had anemic growth, but it hasn't been a decline. Something's telling me, at least the commercial stuff is, it's going to be in trouble for the next couple of months.
I really think there's no reason to expect better on the REITs.
Right. I mean, the question is, I mean, I don't know very much about, I have, the ones from the teacher's annuity. So they own a lot of stuff outright because they're such a big operation.
Yeah, they own prime real estate in all the big cities.
Right. But I would assume that they're more weighted towards the commercial plays. I mean, look, people are now.
We have a lot of office buildings which are maybe not being filled and so on.
Exactly. That was my thought. So I trimmed a fair amount off my REITs.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to the stocks, is the market celebrating today? The Kamala Harris?
You know, I think it's already baked into the pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, nobody seems surprised that it's Kamala Harris versus anybody else. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people are happy it's not Elizabeth Warren, because at least Kamala is only she's a lot more centrist than a lot of the ones that were on the list.
I would say that this is a middle of the road ticket for the Democrats.
I think it's very smart of him. I like her anyway, but that's me. But nonetheless, I think strategically, it plays better because also it doesn't.
You were doing so nicely, now you froze.
It doesn't make it look like
All right, we got to get to the share screen. What I want to look at on the screen is APT, Lake, Codex, CVM, maybe a few others, depending on how much we have time for. And then we should talk about Amazon and Tesla splitting and so on and so forth. ATNM had a 30-for-1 split in reverse. Actinium Pharmaceuticals. So you're rich. Instead of 30 cents, you have $9.70.
well, we talked about this about a week ago. Do you remember when I talked about how there's a reaction when a stock either does a split or a reverse split? And so Tesla announced that they were going to split, and then it added like a certain percentage to their cap
Yes,
for no reason except for the fact that they're making their stock more liquid.
I think we
If
saw.
I remember correctly about the technical behavior that you observe, there is a common pattern there, and the common pattern is this sort of a kind of a honeymoon where it goes up a little bit, and then it realizes, wait a second, this really shouldn't make a difference, and then it normalizes.
Yeah, oftentimes when it does finally split, it goes down.
Right. Or even, like I said, there was a whole. I never read the article, but there was a whole pattern to look for, and so it could have been exploited because Tesla was so expensive and so widely held. So if we miss that, we'll do it when Bezos splits Amazon.
Yeah, I think he
Keep an eye
will.
out for that, okay?
I think he will split Amazon.
And when he does, let's be on that.
Yeah.
Let's be on the buy some stuff.
Well, I own Amazon.
Well, you don't have to. But maybe I'm talking to myself and to my audience.
Yeah. Well, we're talking to everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of just getting this, taking advantage of this, if this really is a thing, it should be worth looking at. Because you notice even with this Robinhood business, and now these other things where they're giving you these little splinters of stocks that for $5 you can get a taste of of all the blue chips. It means that
BCRX had a big insider buy today. That's good.
BCRX. Is that our first one?
Linda's telling me I shouldn't have dumped BCRX, but I didn't dump it. I sold off a portion, less than 25%. That's not dumping.
You're
I just trimmed.
I'm just riding this like a cowboy.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll see what happens.
Blocked. Yeah, I'm really upset.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. He usually has a lot to say about BCRX. Not me again. Unbelievable.
What are they talking about, Spike?
One of us is going out. It's either me or you.
Me.
Oh, is it you?
APT. Let's look at APT. I think you can buy
Yeah.
all you want.
APT.
At this point,
We
you
saw
can
this.
buy is my thinking on APT. I'm thinking it's bottomed or very close to having bottomed. And even if it goes down another point, I think it will make a strong comeback on lake earnings. When are the lake earnings?
Next month.
Is it a whole
Early next
month?
month.
I
Yeah,
thought the
it
end
was.
of August.
Well, let me see. I'll tell you in a sec. My
Pretty sure.
understanding is that it's
I
then. Let's
think
see.
Lake will lift the
I
PPE
agree.
market.
I agree. Uh, September 9th, around there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see APT back up around 20 by then, and I think with Lake earnings, I think it'll go back to 25, 30. And I think Lake will make another run at 30.
I would tend to agree. You know, one of the
So
things I was thinking
I
today is
like
the
APT
money I'd buy back
and
in.
Lake. At these prices, look, I like them at 20. I like them at 22. I like them better at 16, as
Yeah,
Warren Buffett would say.
it really is. Well, a friend of mine said, "I just bought this, so sell."
No, that's very, very wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I said, "You just bought this because you." I said, "You just bought this. You just got yourself a bargain."
Right.
And I told him.
That's right. All right. So APT, uh, the chart looks quite good. It's got support at the
Well, I mean, are we,
100.
are we bouncing? Are we bouncing off of that moving average that you got there at the end of that
Yeah,
picture?
yeah. The 100. It's between the 50 and the 100,
Uh,
and it doesn't have to go all the way down to the 100. I think
I
you've made.
hope it doesn't.
I mean, that would be 1550, something like that.
Right.
But I don't think it has to go there, and I think it's not a falling knife, in my opinion. So it's safe to my opinion, it's safe to buy if you have a little patience. Not too much patience. I
Well,
think by
I
the
could,
end of the
I could wait
third
a month.
quarter,
I could wait a month to double my money.
by the end of September, I think this should be very much higher than what it is.
Well, yeah, especially depending on what concessions they have to make to get people back into the schools.
Yeah, that people will have to wear the masks, and students.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's look at Lake.
So you're going to look at Lake, its cousin Lake.
Yes, and then co-diagnostics I want to look at.
We have to look at that. We have to look at Mesa too, since
Yes,
we're
we
also.
have to look at Miso. Miso actually uh, disappointed because of concerns raised by the advisory committee on its, what is it, host versus graft disease.
They said it was working fine.
Yeah,
That all.
they have questions about the product itself. Is it always consistent, and that
Right.
kind of thing. The manufacturing of it. And
One of the comments I heard was that you're not going to let a bunch of kids die if this thing looks like it's working as it looks like it is working.
I
So
agree. I think there'll be a surprise, and that they'll pass it.
I mean, the alternative, the current care is not good enough.
That's right.
The
I think
standard
there'll be
care.
a positive surprise on Miso. I'd be a buyer of Miso at $11, $12, wherever the hell it is. Now this stock, I keep adding every day. I added more today. Am I a glutton? I don't think so. Now I think it's got solid support at 1850. I'll buy it all the way down.
I'm sorry. What is this one here? I was looking. Linda said she figured out a way for you to unblock Jigglypuff.
Really? That's great.
But I'm trying to find her message.
All right, so I'm getting bitten up by mosquitoes as I'm talking. Wonderful. It was
I'm
an
sorry about
interesting
that.
day today. Interesting day today in Eastern Long in the Hamptons. We had a dentist come to the backyard and do everyone's teeth, clean everyone's teeth. Backyard's the dentist. I mean, look what this world is turning into with its backyard dentists that are starving from Midtown Manhattan. They're coming to the Hamptons to
They come to
clean.
the Hamptons to take care of the rich people's teeth.
Yeah, because they're starving, especially in Manhattan. The dentists in Manhattan are all starving. It's a crazy, crazy world. They'll take any insurance. It's not like they're ripping you off,
Right.
most like most Hamptons type stuff. So as
Yeah.
long as it stays above $20 or so, I think Lake is. I keep buying. I mean, it's
Well,
right about the point where I think it should find support at 20. So I'd be disappointed if I'm wrong, but I'll keep buying to 1850. That you see the support that I got below that,
right.
that double ruled line.
Hmm.
That should hold. If that doesn't hold, I'll reconsider.
Understood.
Yeah. But I'm really, look, I've been bullish like Lakeland all along. I'm not going to get less bullish. I keep adding. I did sell some very close to the top, but I put it back at lower prices. The same with APT. I unloaded all my APT at about 22 and a half and started buying it back at 20 and a half. And I keep adding. I just like these two plays. I could be wrong. I'll lose a lot of money if I'm wrong. What can I tell you?
I don't think you're wrong. If I had more money, I'd get into them.
Yeah, well, again, it goes against my philosophy of why take chances on the COVID plays when when Federated, Federal Express is over 200 now.
Yeah, no, that's a surprise, isn't it?
It didn't surprise me. I started buying it at 140. I kept saying it's going to 200, and Kimberly Clark, I think, is going to 200, but a lot slower.
People give us that one, yes.
Yeah, that'll take a while to get to 200. And MMM is going to 100. So
Yeah,
you got all these great companies at a discount. Walmart is at a discount at 130, 132. That's going to 150. So without gambling, you're going to make very nice profits. Do you want to be in an Amazon? Maybe not. Maybe not, because you got others that are pay dividends and they look like they have room to grow, like MMM and Kimberly Clark and uh, Walmart and so on. So you have dividend plays in place of buying long bonds. That's another way I look at it.
well, I
All right.
can't disagree.
Anyway,
I cannot disagree at all. I mean, the thing is that I was just gonna wait. This is what my plan was, and this may be a silly plan, but my plan was that at around September or so, it would be worth sort of moving off of these plays, especially since all the earnings would come out, especially for Lake and APT, and hopefully we could start getting answers about CVM and ATHX, and that would free up a lot of money in it. And at least I'm thinking that the stock market might be a bit more of a bargain at that point.
right.
You
I
know,
mean, I
it,
mean, I don't know how it views the politics. I think the market seems to not care if Biden Harris wins or if Trump Pence
right?
wins.
They claim to care.
It's acting like a win-win for Wall Street. That's how it's acting.
Yeah, well, right. Assuming all of this is baked into the cake. Let's say if the Kamala Harris does not make any difference in terms of Biden versus Trump, and the odds are the same for Biden versus Trump. As a matter of fact, in a way, when everybody talks about how when Kamala Harris has that debate with Pence, she's going to eat him up alive. And I was waiting for that since Bush Gore, and then it just doesn't happen. It just disappoints because everybody's
Nobody,
so polite to each other.
nobody's going to change their mind with
Exactly.
presidential debate or the vice president.
Right. Exactly.
And
So,
half the voting populace will not even watch.
right. Exactly. And those of us who are looking for a nice butthole ripping aren't going to get one.
Yep. Look at the after hours on Code Diagnostics. Nice pop.
Oh yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, 43 cents back to 20.
All right.
Now this one is exactly on the trend line. You see it? I don't know if you could see it,
Yes, I can.
but it's exactly on the trend line. I mean, it dropped below, but it's holding trend. I'd love to see it bounce back tomorrow to about the $21 level. That would make me very happy.
I mean, this is all prior to earnings. Why does anybody think? What are we thinking, that some sort of hijinks is going to happen during earnings again, like it did
Yeah,
3 months ago?
I already sold half my Code Diagnostics, but
Did
most
you?
of it, I sold at 30. I sold 30, above 30. I sold at 27 and a half. And then I sold on the way down a little bit. And I sold today a little bit. So
Well, that makes one of us.
I have about half of it left. All right. But going forward, I will be adding if I see if the chart turns, turns up, I'll be adding.
Now, let me ask you a question on this.
Yeah.
After earnings, let's suppose the earnings are really good, and the earnings bring things back up into the stratosphere. Is there
Yeah.
anything else to wait for after that for Code Diagnostics?
Yeah, you got to wait for Sorrento and 3M to develop their spit test and knock the Code Diagnostics right off the charts.
So then anything after that's going to be bad news.
Probably.
But my understanding was that the Code Diagnostics product was part of some of the spit tests.
I know, but I don't know about the turnaround. I think 3M will surprise everyone with a kit like the pregnancy kit, direct to consumer.
Well, from your mouth to God's ear, my friend.
Yeah, and that will help so much. And kids can take their COVID reading 3 times a week or whatever.
Right.
If it's a $2 test,
Yeah, it's still not going to be cheap. It'll still add up, but
yeah, the average family may not be able to afford it. I don't know.
well, not to do it every morning.
Yeah, not to do it every morning.
It's not a cup of coffee.
Well, it is. A cup of coffee is $2.
That's what I'm saying. But a cup of coffee, you get something out of it.
Oh,
You get a caffeine boost.
You get a caffeine boost. Well, they could put caffeine into the test, maybe.
You're right. Like they'll put it on the rim of the Red Bull. So while you're drinking the Red Bull.
So Marty told me that he's loading up on CVM, and he thinks it's going to make a nice pop. Maybe he's crazy, and I told Marty, and he's anything but crazy. There's always method to his madness. So I don't know if Marty's here today with us or not, but good thinking, Marty. Nice call on CVM. Good time to load up.
I would say so too. I mean, do you think that this whole business with Gert talking, doing all this talking, he's got to be confident about it. I mean, because he's going to have
he's pumping the doggone stock. Now, why does he want to pump it? What difference does it make? Well, I'll tell you what difference does it make. He doesn't know the results, that I'll tell you. But if the results are anywhere near as good as what he thinks, and he pumps up the stock price to 18 before data, it's much better position for a buyout at 180 than it would be if it's selling at 10.
Aha. And you really think the buyout is going to be something like that if this thing works?
It could be.
All right. So I get it now. I get it.
I think that's the reason he wants to pump it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll always find out if there's some.
Because he's bored twiddling his thumbs. He's got nothing better to do. But with himself, but cause a little mischief on the Reddit board. You
Well,
know,
I wish the CEO of BCRX would do something similar.
well, there's nobody quite like Gert. Yeah, he's unique.
Uh-huh.
He's not your typical CEO. He's not your uh, what was it that commercial about Buick? It's not your
Not your father's CEO.
not your grandfather's Buick or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it's the same idea. Gert is not your everyday CEO, and people are trying to figure out, is Gert doing a pump and dump? Does Gert know the data's negative and he's just building up the price so he can bail? Does Gert know that it's positive and he's building up the price for who knows what? I mean, I think Gert talking on the boards means absolutely nothing with respect to the odds
Okay,
of
fair enough.
CVM being a success or not. Gert is just bored. Gert is talking because Gert likes to talk. Trust me, I had an hour conversation on the phone. He likes to talk. It was hard to get a word in edgewise.
That's
And
funny.
I like to talk.
And you even right, you even got a couple of things to say in there.
Of course, but I had to fight to get it in. Now, do I want Gert on the show? Jake said I should get him on. I don't think so because he'd drive us crazy if we got him on. Gert is like on adrenaline.
Really?
Yeah, he's on adrenaline. Another time, after the news is out and we're all millionaires, then you can get him on the show.
Well, I mean, you know how the other one you did was sort of off of the Spike or Jake Hour, right? So you could have another one of those.
Yeah,
We'll call it a Dr. J special.
yeah.
That's the Dr. J special presentation.
I'd like to get, rather than do a separate interview with a CEO, I'd rather have him on the regular show. That's more to my liking.
Well, I'm willing to talk to these people.
Yeah, more to my liking. They may not like it that way, but more to my liking.
Right.
I'll even do a little bit of homework. Anybody have any requests before I look at ATHX, or should I just look at ATHX?
Well, I had my request to Miso. Why don't we do that one first?
All right, I'll do Miso. Miso is a buy on the chance that they will be accepted. Miso is a definite buy.
I'm thinking so too. I'm just a little disappointed. It's that we have to go through these processes where we get squoted.
That's called the world of biotech. Did you ever hear the expression biotech is dreck?
Biotech is dreck. Well, that would have been my thoughts, and I don't know if you've noticed the trend, but I've been complaining about biotechs lately.
Does MA know what biotech is dreck means?
Does MA know what biotech is dreck means? I'll ask him.
I'll ask him.
I mean, I certainly know what it means.
I know, but I'm not. I think MA might know.
Well, and then we got a couple of requests. We got an AEMD request. We got an SNE. Let's do Miso first.
So the people want Sorrento
because they're sort of cousins. And
Jake was right on Sorrento, and MA was
unbelievable, right?
Jake said it's going to collapse, implode. MA said it's got more to run. They're both right, but
they're both right. $1.5 billion isn't anything to cough at.
No, they were both right. Miso had a nice gap up before it collapsed. It looked like it was going to run. I noticed it wound up closing basically unchanged on that day. What was that, on Monday?
Right.
On Tuesday it collapses. And today it finished with a nice candle. I love these candles with the tiny green top and a big shadow. So it's showing signs of life. I think very likely we put in the bottom already on Miso. people are starting to factor in the chance of FDA approving anyway.
Right. Like I said, from what I read, I didn't see anything that sounded like bad news.
FDA approval, and will probably move to the 20s.
Right. Right. I mean,
So this could be
bad
an easy,
stuff.
it could be an easy double, and if it doesn't approve, that was expected anyway.
Right. Now at that level.
Yeah,
So,
so I really
you
like
think it's a coin
this
flip?
play. I did not sell any of my miso on the bad news, but I also didn't add yet.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So
I thought I was golden with this one until it.
people want what do they want? AEMD,
Well, we have to do ATHX because that's sort of like the cousin.
ATHX.
Since they're sort of in the same space.
Yeah, ATHX was very disappointing conference call that Bill Van Bachman had. I mean, basically he said barter money is dead. We're not going to complete this COVID study until maybe the end of next year. And in between, maybe after 6 months, maybe we'll have an interim report. And what I think is maybe they'll just abandon the trial because they ain't got the money.
That's bad news.
Yeah, I don't like the COVID initiative at all. Even if they succeed, they're not going to make money on COVID. More than likely.
Because you don't think they're a winner in the odds race.
Even if they are a winner, they'd probably be a winner so far down the road that they'll be up to the next pandemic.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, okay.
So I'm bad mouthing the company I own more of than any other biotech.
That's right.
But luckily, I sold.
We know it comes from a good place.
I sold half my position before the collapse.
Okay.
Started selling it. I don't remember when, but I finished selling it at 259. So I didn't get hurt too badly. I mean, not as badly as I could have. I'm still hurting, but not as bad. And what do I think? Is it a good buy now? Probably. I mean, even though the COVID is not panning out, the end of the year you got stroke in Japan.
Right.
So I bought.
There is something to hang your hat on.
Remember, you asked me, will I buy back? I said yes.
Yes.
So I bought back today some at 226. Almost caught the bottom.
Okay.
I also had an order in for 221. I didn't get it.
Well, good.
So, and I will buy more if it goes down to $2.
Really?
Yeah.
There is something salvageable out of this company.
And don't think I have to buy it because I have a ton of it. Even with selling half, I still have a ton.
No, I know.
I own it because I like the potential.
You've been on this company since we started the show.
I own this company probably 8 years or something like that. My average is something like $1.60.
Okay.
So I'm not getting killed, but you own a stock for 6 years.
Yeah, you want to get some return.
$1.60 to $2.30 is no great shakes.
Not in this space, anyway.
No.
In this space, you want to make some money.
Absolutely.
Our next request is for AEMD.
AEMD. How about BioChris? And then we do AEMD.
Okay, fine.
All right, BioChris. Linda says big insider buy. We like that. I sold. I said I sold at 380. I don't remember what I sold at 387.
Oh, you said you sold there, right?
Somewhere around there, 388. What's the difference? I sold about 22%.
Right, like a Bronco Buster, also.
22%. Figuring I had better places to be with that money, but probably was wrong. Which is fine. Let it go up. I don't care. I just,
You're still pretty deep in this one anyway, right?
I'm thinking the end of September is a long ways in biotech land. And that's
Uh,
what we're looking at for news on Galley.
right.
And then I don't know how much longer before the doggone thing is approved. So,
Yeah, my alter ego said that. I've been listening to the news just recently, and trying to find out when people talk about antivirals or the treatment. They're saying, all right, look, if Putin is full of baloney and there really isn't a vaccine out there, and we're talking about treatments again. And so, what is the first thing people talk about? They talk about monoclonal antibodies. They talk about the steroids, um, and nobody talks about antivirals except for remdesivir.
well, I think Galley is a likely successor.
Indeed.
Remdesivir is like a temporary placeholder ready to be knocked off by the next antiviral that's better.
Right, but in terms of, and so one would have thought if people are getting all panicky now about having something that's going to be something that's more in line with a treatment instead of a cure, you would think that they'd be clamoring for this, right?
Yeah,
And but
they
but
are clamoring, but they're clamoring slowly.
I know. So I was under this. I was speculating that maybe this was going to be the October surprise. That uh, October comes and say, look, we have all these pills, and they're ready tomorrow. But my
Yeah, but
question is whether or not
I think
October.
that'll be Regeneron and AstraZeneca and the Eli Lilly.
You think one of those guys,
Yeah, the monoclonal antibody guys.
monoclonal antibody plays, yes, but those don't come in pills. Those you have to actually take and inject them in.
That's not good.
Yeah, but the pill, but these will be pills. And the
Yeah,
thing is, can we as a society wait till
but
October?
Galley is not in pill form.
Not yet, but they were saying that it's more likely to be
Again, by the time it becomes a pill, we'll be up to the next pandemic.
yeah. Well, no, I'm sure this one's got some legs to it.
I don't know. I don't know. They're not moving quick enough to satisfy me or the market.
Fair enough. I mean, I was hoping to be out of all of this COVID stuff by election day, but I don't think that's going to happen in terms of us having these positions that we want to hold on to and wait for some good long term payout. We might
Yeah,
be stuck with these COVID plays well into next year.
yeah. I
And
like.
and then all the blue chips you're talking about, like 3M and stuff like that, and Walmart. I mean, only if you have extra money could you even afford. Could you get into those?
All right. Now, what about this one? I think this one is potentially can go to about 135. And if it does, without further news on the COVID trial, I think it's got to be bought at that level.
Interesting. I
Because,
I
because
I think you're looking
the
at
report that was not that bad. What did Tim say? He said uneventful on the first treatment. Big deal. I think the guy didn't die. Uneventful means it didn't cure him yet.
right, right. Or you didn't die yet.
You could say he's 0 for 1.
Remember the word event is a euphemism for you know.
Yeah, there was no adverse events or
No, I
severe
mean that's
adverse events.
for the whole CVM play. The word event really meant somebody was dying.
I
We had
know. I mean, yeah.
right,
All
but
right. So
eventually,
anyway, Athlon is, like all other conference calls. When the news isn't better than expected, it goes down. That's all that happened here.
so this is time to say your disclaimer because you still
As
say
with
still,
all,
you just confirmed it.
as with all of our opinions, they are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with an investment advisor before acting on any of our ideas. And just because Dr. J buys a stock doesn't mean you should. And the same with Spike and the same with Jigglypuff, who I'm going to get back now. Let's get Big Jiggly. Should I do SRNE before we quit?
Um, let's see. We had a couple. We had a couple of requests. Yeah, SRNE would be perfect.
Uh, I love where it stopped today, and I love the bounce back. I would say, what the hell? It's probably got another run left in it. I'm not sure I'm going to go for it, but it looks okay. It basically came down to the bottom of that green candle and finished nice.
Now, why would it go down on news of an infusion of $1.5 billion?
I don't know why these things go up and down. The
Okay.
COVID plays.
I mean,
I'm, I'm
I've
out.
noticed that every time somebody tells me they're making money, I'm like, oh, great, I have that stock. And then the stock doesn't do anything. It's
I'm
already happened.
out.
It's
I'm
happened
out.
to Gilead
I'm out, and I'm going to stay out for now.
for Sorrento. Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to zip back up. It
I mean,
just
look, I'm taking Jake at his word that I'm taking Jake at his opinion that this stuff is that there's a lot of hype here that has to get pushed out. Oh,
yeah.
and by the way, Linda definitely wants to see ADMA before you turn off.
Which one?
ADMA.
Plasma, blood plasma. Okay. I mean, we all know blood plasma works, and ADMA has a good product. But I don't know. I mean, the chart it collapsed here recently from $4. It's stabilizing now, right about the bottom of the candle today. So
Right.
I think it's at a critical juncture. As long as it holds, let's say, shouldn't go below this low. Then I'd be out if it goes below 271. 271 would chase me. Otherwise, stay in it if you're in it. I'm not looking to go in personally. Let's try to get Jigglypuff back and call it a night.
Okay.
It is hot as hell in eastern Long Island. Oh man.
Yeah, I know you look like you're suffering.
Yeah, it's sweating like a pig. All right, now let's go back to StreamYard.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with how to pull that off. I didn't see the instructions.
Eyes on the money. Confucia.
Yes, he was
We'll
asking.
go around December for all of Deo and Gavidosphere. I don't know what we're waiting for in BCRX. They have a $500 million drug that's going to be approved at the end of the year. I think that's what he's referring to. For I forget what HAE, whatever that stands for. Hypothermia, edema, who knows?
Oh, right.
I don't know what it is. How do I get Jigglypuff back?
It says I just explained how to unblock, but then I
Oh,
didn't
you
see the
did it
explanation.
with a tweet.
Oh, with a tweet. What do I know from tweets?
A tweet to me.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it, but not now. Red Hill is interesting. Red Hill, I've been burned before. I had enough of Red Hill. Let it run. Let it be right. Everything is a COVID play, even the fish oil. So who knows?
even Varsipa, right?
Yeah. UAVS next time. UAVS.
Okay.
Because this time,
The only other one that they were talking about is
this time
ONTX,
I gotta wring out the doggone shirt from perspiration.
and the other one was ONTX. I don't even know what that company is. You know what that is?
Professor Spike thought it was your instructions. We couldn't find your instructions.
Well,
I don't know. We'll have to figure this out.
okay.
We can't leave Jiggly blocked.
No, we can't. Absolutely not. That's
all right. So everybody, thanks for showing up. We love your input. Linda, MA, the cabinet guy and his brother.
eyes on money.
The brothers separated by a lot of states,
Jerry.
Tennessee to Vermont. Favorite COVID play for now? Late.
Yeah,
Late.
I think we both agree. We said it at the same time.
Yep. Yep.
All right, that's good. That's good. We'll end on an agreement.
I'm probably very wrong, but I still like Lake. I think it's a $30 stock.
You
Why am
know,
I probably wrong? That's silly to say. I'm probably right.
you're probably right. That was the
All
one.
right.
That was the one that looked like it was. It recognized its earnings, and it put itself into a good position.
I'm going to
And
end the
it was
show
gonna
with one word, the same word that MA began with. Shalom.
Shalom.